The Sooners have beat up on every opponent they've faced this season. Trouble is, some of those opponents are starting to return the favor on a certain OU star. From the Dodge Sports Desk, I'm Jenny Carlson, and this is OU Basketball with John Helsley. Okay, John, let's talk about this hot start by the Sooners, 12-0 into the Christmas break. Talk about where this ranks historically with OU basketball for a start like this.
It's very good, Jenny. Only 3 teams in Oklahoma history have started better. And one of them, you have to go way back to the 20s, a team that actually only played 18 games and won every game. So very good start. You can actually see that this team could get to 18 and maybe beyond. I mean, there's going to be a tough home game with Texas in that mix. I would think they would be favored at home. There's games at Kansas State, at Texas A&M, 2 tough road games in the Big 12, but still games that are winnable. So they might be able to make a run at 18-0.
What about keys to this success so far, to have the 12 wins in 12 games? What's been key to get to this point for the Sooners, and what may be in the future? How could some of those keys play into future success for this team?
A couple of things. One, Blake Griffin has been so good. I mean, that's the obvious. He's better than he was a year ago. Everything runs through him. They've had somebody else, not necessarily consistently, but somebody else, whether it's Tony Crocker, Willie Warren, Austin Johnson, somebody has kind of been that really need go-to guy. And then the other thing, I think they're playing a little bit of underrated defense. The defense has been good, and they've been really good late in games. Close games, they've made the plays down the stretch to win.
You mentioned Blake Griffin. He's having a great year, frustrating opponents, his team and him, and now it looks like some of that aggression is being taken out on Blake Griffin. You're spending some quality time with Alex Brown, the OU trainer, trying to get some information about injuries and such. I know some stitches under Blake's eye. How bad has it gotten for the big man?
I think it's gotten progressively worse. I think teams have just decided this is the only way we're going to slow this guy down is to beat up on him. And Utah basically tried a hack-a-shack deal with him, and we're not going to let him get any shots off. There have been low blows. He was tripped from behind the other night. He gets the elbow in the face. He was starting to get frustrated the other night, but good thing for Blake is he turned it, basically got very aggressive on the offensive end, and really got the team going.
Is this going to get worse? I mean, the Sooners are close to starting Big 12 play, which is really going to be the beef of their schedule. Is this going to get worse, or does Blake Griffin just need to say, hey, this is the ultimate sign of respect that teams are willing to go to these lengths to try to stop me?
I think that is one thing he's going to have to do. Teams are going to play him tough, and they're going to play him physical. I would like to think in the Big 12 the cheap shots will go away. You'd like to think that coaches that know him, teams that know him, it won't happen. But we'll have to see.
The next big test, you mentioned some conference games that are going to be tough for the Sooners, but they've got a tough road game this week, Tuesday at Arkansas. They haven't played in a long time. What have they been up to, and what can we expect out of this game at Arkansas on Tuesday?
I think they felt like they needed a few days off to kind of rest. There were a couple of guys who were kind of sick and just weren't quite feeling up to par. Of course, Blake could probably use a couple of days off as well. Arkansas is a team that's 9-1, really haven't played anybody, but it's a game that's going to be over there. I think they'll have a really good crowd, so I think it'll be quite a test for the Sooners.
One of the guys that's helped them get out to that 9-1 start, Arkansas, is a former Oklahoma schoolboy star, if you will, Rodney Clark. I think you're maybe going to be writing a little bit about this in Tuesday's Oklahoma and News OK. Talk a little bit about him and the season he's having for the Razorbacks.
There were some questions about how his game would translate. He started every game. He's their 3rd leading scorer. He's been a great shooter for him. Everything we saw in high school, basically. John Pelfrey, the Arkansas coach, says he's the best shooter he's either coached or played with. So, pretty high praise there. He's really off to a good start, and he's a big reason why the Hogs are off to a 9-1 start.
Well, the Sooners are going to get a good look at him, and so will John. John will continue to provide in-depth coverage of the Sooners as their non-conference season winds down and Big 12 play starts up. We'll be talking about that.